Shem Hashem na'aseh v'na'atzliach, Rabotai. We're beginning the shiur in Matbeah Bracha, and in order to do the shiur, you need to have a copy of Vater Mordechai, which we're going to read from. But we'll explain as we go along. I don't have the Matbeah Bracha on the screen for those who are listening to the shiur, so you have to get your own version for now. Okay, Mechila for the delay. We're in Vater Mordechai, and we also have the shiur over here of the Ginzei Chaim of Rav Chakun. Yeah. So now what we want to do is pick up from last week. So I mentioned last week Milat Baruch. Okay, so we're looking at Milat Baruch, and if you've got a siddur of some kind, the Milat Baruch, with Mamash just starting. And as we start Milat Baruch, we explained that the Shefa Chitzon and the Shefa Pnimi. And we saw it inside in Vater Mordechai on Daf Peish Resh Tet. Resh Tet Baruch Atah Hashem. Shefa Chagat is Yenika is Shefa Chitzon. Yeah? So the same word means three words mean the same thing. Chagat, Yenika, and Chitzon. And also the reason why we start with Chagat is because really our main avodah is to do the Pnimi, which is the Gadlut. Right, which is Shefa Pnimi, the Pnimi, yeah, Pnimi is Gadlut, that's Chabad. But in order to get that, we have to send something up. So what's the level just before that? That's the Chagat. That's why if you say what happened to Nai, there's no Nai. Nai isn't included in the Chagat. Yeah. So in Milat Baruch, we did Resh Tet, and we did up to Ketzer Yon Resh Yud Aleph. We did all those pages. So now we explained that where's the Shefa coming from? What's the essence of Matbeah Bracha? Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu is all Shefa Chitzon, to bring bracha down from the place which is above each of the one of the parts of Fim, all the way up to the one which is above Atzilut, which is the Malchut of Akudim, which is called Keter Elyon. Depending which bracha we do, the Keter Elyon will change. Let's say we're learning now a regular Deraita bracha, making bracha on tefillin. Yeah, so the Keter Elyon will be the Malchut Akudim. That's what we're dealing with now over here. Okay, so now on Daf Resh Yud Aleph, explain what Keter Elyon was, and then underneath, halfway down the page, it says Shnei Zivugei Chagat de'atik, Shnei Zivugei Chagat de'arich. I think we may have even done this. I can't remember where we stopped exactly, but the point is that we already, it's good to go over it. When we start the word Baruch, so we bring down. Look, if you look inside the siddur, if you got a siddur, if you open it on Shtabach or Baruch Shamar, if you have that. And the first thing is the word Baruch, and it says Yechaven Lamshich Shefa Miketer Elyon. Shefa Miketer Elyon, we just explained, is Malchut Akudim. Who do you send it to? We know it now. We know where it came from. We send it to Atik and Arich. So first of all, we go to Atik, and we split Atik into two parts. One part of Atik is called the Chitzon, and one is called the Pnimi. And we explained this Machloket, what the order is to do first, but we're doing the Pnimi first as the Siddur, because we have Ra'ayot that Rabbi Shaul, who was the one who said to do Chitzon first, changed his mind, even from what it's written in Ora Levana. So top line says Zivug Pnimi, Ekeh Havaya, yeah, De Chabad. Why is Chabad goes with Pnimi? That's the same thing. So Zivug Chitzon, then it's Havaya Ekeh, it's the other way around, because the Ekeh is always above and the Havaya is below. So when it's Pnimi, then it goes in that direction. It's Chitzon, it goes the other way around. What's the Chitzon? The Nai V'Chagat. What's Nai V'Chagat? Two parts of him, right? It means it means Vap, which means Katnut, right? And Yenika. But I don't want to confuse it with the bigger Yenika. Everything we're doing about Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu is all Yenika. It's all Shefa Chitzon. Within the Shefa Chitzon, we have to divide it now into Chabad and the Chagat Nai. Two different sections. Pnimi and Chitzon. And the Shefa comes down from the Keter Elyon to these two different maslulim. That means two different paths. There's two different journeys, right? One maslul is always going to be what you do in the Pnimi of each one. So we're going to start with Atik, so Pnimi of Atik. One maslul goes to the Chitzon of Atik, and then from there we'll go to Arich, Pnimi Chitzon, and then Abavim, Pnimi Chitzon, and we keep on going Pnimi Chitzon all the way down. Okay? So this is where it pathways. It comes down, and it goes to Atik, and one goes to all the Pnimis of all the parts of Him, one goes to all the Chitzons of all the parts of Him. Questions?
No, just say if you wanted some, could you has?
Mine to say we could use that, but then for the people watching the show won't have it. So yeah, ideally you should we'll stick to the same one then. So we can always have the same. We'll keep that in mind for every week. Kuf Yud Chet. Kuf Yud Chet, you've got here Matbeah Bracha. Okay, so as you can see, all the pnimis, you go on the top lines, right? Ahava is going to be, he's got it over here, chitzon above and pnimi below, right? I don't know why they did it that way, because Rav Atiyah, his opinion is pnimi comes before chitzon, and all the Siddurim is the other way around. He said this on number 23, says he changed the order. So let's not use the book. Okay. But he himself doesn't hold of this. He right. There was a time where he would, he never, from a young age, he said he didn't do it that way. There are opinions that you have that. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah. It's good that you did, because we all got confused. There's opinion of Rav Nissim Eini, who came from Baghdad. He was also Talmid of the Sadeh, and he changed the whole page, doing the bottom of the page up and all of them. It's a whole thing. Had a different, not like our Siddur, looked completely different. He changed the whole order to make it that Chiton will be before Pnimi. But we're not following that now. Right, all the Siddurim, if you're looking, except for this one, which the Talmid of Rav Atiyah decided to put it that way. I don't know why they did that. Pnimi is before Chitzon. Yep. Yeah, that's how I did it, because it's like that. All the Siddurim you pick up Nidfas, pick up Yareh, any Siddur you pick up, you'll see it that way. It's the first time they decided to be a Chacham and do it according to the Olevana.
How can you get into the Pnimi if not through the Chitzon?
So that's what there's a much more in the Rashash like that. We read in the first week when you were here. But the Bati Lagan, Shemet Sasson doesn't hold like that. No one, it's a svara, but no Siddur is like that. And in all of them, it needs before Chitzon. Only one mashmot. And even if the Rashash held that, maybe it was Choseh. I mean, look, you can't win with this, because there's always going to be another opinion. Okay, but we're now going through what we've already learned. So if you read now in Resh Yud Aleph, it says, "Behemshech tevat Baruch katab b'sidur v'zeh leshono." L'hamshik shefa miketer elyon l'shnei zivugei dechagat de'atik. So we're starting with Atik. What's the two zivugim of Chagat de'atik? Pnimi and Chitzon. ראוי להבין שיש שני זיווגים אלו, הם אחד, חב"ד דחגת, פנימי דחיצון. What does it mean פנימי דחיצון? Because חיצון is שפע חיצון. The פנימי of the שפע חיצון, you understand? And שני, חגת ביניים of the חגת, this חגת is going to be חיצון דחיצון. Yeah, what's חיצון דחיצון? That means חיצון of the שפע חיצון. So now the שפע חיצון has got two parts. And in every part we're going to go to, we're going to have the pnimi of it and the chitzon of it. And as we said, the first half of the bracha Bochat Hashem Elokeinu is all shefa chitzon. I'm saying it again and again just to make sure. I mean, it's clear. Hagam shem shonot, even though that they're different, these two bechinot. Mikol makom, matzad shefish behem, shishneim shayachim leshefa chitzon. Right. So begadol in the klali, they're all kol chaga, which is yenika, which is chitzon. And within the chitzon, we've got pnimi de chitzon and chitzon de chitzon. So first station is atik, so we have to do that. So now remember, there's 3 stages to everyone. Every time we do a kavanah, so now let's say the master, you come to you open the siddur, you say Baruch, what do? You say it comes from Keter Elyon, which is Malchut Akudim. It goes to atik, right? What do? You give it to atik. Okay, which part of atik? Well, there's the pnimi and the chitzon of atik. You got Chabad Atik of Sheba Chitzon and Chaganoi Atik. That's what you have to look at when you see it, right? So you look at it and you give it to them. But that all that's in the first line before you do any kavanot. You take it to Atik, to the 2 parts of Atik, the Zivug Pnimi and the Zivug, and then you have to do the Zivug, right? So this kavanah is something sending, something receiving, Zivug. We're going to be doing this all the way through. Something sending, something receiving, zivug. After the zivug, then you send someone else is sending it to someone else and receiving, and then zivug. That's how this works, right? If you look at this page and you don't see that, then you won't be doing the kavanah. You understand? If you want to do the kavanah, you have to remember these three things. This is the formula. It doesn't say in the siddur, but that's lemaisa what you have to do. When you read it, you'll see that's what it means. But if you read everything, it's like one long paragraph. You have to break it down into sections, stages. That's what we've done in our siddurim, to break everything down so you can see where it's coming from, where it's going, and what you're doing. So again, you're sending it from Akudah Akudim, Keter Elyon. Who gets it? Atik. Okay, there's two parts to Atik, the Pnimi and the Chitzon. When Atik receives it, right, there's two zivugim. Right? And then from the zivugim, we go to Arich. Right? In order for Arich to receive it, you need a zivug of Atik. We didn't do any zivug to get it from Keter Elyon. We just hop around. Like a conveyor belt that's coming down. The shefa's coming down, and we just latch onto it. But from that point onwards, we have to do zivugim to pass on the shefa from partzuf to partzuf. Yeah, till we get all the way down to Zun, and then Aliyah Rafach, Absak Da'ak, Melech HaOlam, and bring down all the shefa of Pnimi, of shefa Pnimi, of Gadlut. Yeah, is that clear? So we say outside, starting the shefa from Keter Elyon, we bring it down to Atik. Then there's two zivugim, and each the zivug pnimi will give to the pnimi of Arich, and the chitzon of Atik will go to the chitzon of Atik. Finish with Atik, then Atik, and in Nahar Shalom it doesn't say Atik, it says Atik v'nuk. It's partzufim, because we're going to have to give the shefa to the next partzuf. So we need to have a male and a female. So you need Atik and the nuk the Atik, Arich v'nuk the Arich, right? But in the Siddur it just says Atik. Rashash explains in more depth in Nahar Shalom. That's the master. That's what we do. So from the top line, which is zivug pnimi, eke havaya, you make a zivug, and then you make another zivug in the second line, chitzon havaya eke. Now we can go to the next line. So now this becomes the meshalech, the one who's sending. Atik is now sending because it made a zivug and it gave birth to shefa. So shefa now goes to the next level. Then it says, Yechaven, Amshich Shefa, Mishnei Zivugei de Chagat de Atik. Both the Pnimi and both the Chitzon, Mishnei Zivugei Chagat de Arich. Now you go to the Shefa Chitzon of Arich. Ulezaveg, Bezivugei de Chagat de Arich. And then Arich will do the same thing, right? And then it will get complicated because you have to go to Abba V'Ima, and that's another story. So let's see inside the Ateret Mordechai. It says, עוד נזכיר כאן ששני זיווגי החג העתיק או שני זיווגי החג העריך מצוירים בסידור בשילוב של עקה והוויה. ושם הוויה מורה על הזכר, עתיק או עריך, ושם עקה מורה על הנקבה. או איזה נוקדה עתיק או נוקדה עריך. וכאן נחזור ונבהר שאם השילוב עקה הוויה זיווג הוא פנימי, right? So in other words, you've got a male side and a female side. Havaya is the male side, and Eke is usually the female side. In the Zivug Pnimi, the female is before the male. You start with Eke Havaya. Why? That's a whole other sugya. Yeah, and the other way it works the other way around. There's different types of chibukim. There's chibuk, there's nishuk and zivug. Sometimes you do the ekeh before the havaya, sometimes you do it before the ekeh. In the siddur, there's much more of it's a bit more of an explanation about it, but you have to learn the sugya to see, right? So sometimes when you look at the name of the zivug of two names like havaya ekeh, and you do the shiluv, you have to know which letter you put before each one. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So it goes again, 8 letter name, right? So it depends if it's zivug chitzon or pnimi. If it's zivug pnimi, the female is before the male. Because she has to be ma'aleman. I mean, I'm not going to give any reasons because it's just going to confuse. Okay. So there's a rule. That's all the Rav Atiyah is saying over here is that there's a rule. Any question? And now we're going to go on a more complicated side. So if you look at it, as we say, begadol, looking at the Siddur, one second, let's finish what Rav Atiyah said. Reshut bet. עוד נשים לב שהשפע יורד מכתר עליון לשני זיווגי חג העתיק ומשם לשני זיווגי חג העריך הוא שפע נעלם. Now we've got a new term, שפע נעלם. What does it mean, שפע נעלם? היינו שאין ידוע מה הם שמות הקודש. We don't know the name of the shefa. Sometimes the shefa itself has a name, like the Nanachi. You see the shefa coming down, and it goes into the kli. Here, the shemot that we're talking about is only those of the partsufim that are making the zivug. But the actual shefa itself doesn't have a name. So we call that shefa ne'alam. והיינו שאין ידוע מהם שמות הקודש שיש בשפע הזה. וכל מה שרואים בסידור זה רק את שמות זיווגי עתיק בעריך. The ones who are being מזווג, המזווגים. שהם שילוב שמות, כיהיה הוויה פנימי לחיצון, הוויה כיהיה חיצון לחיצון. Right? So that's just pointing out that in the Matbeah Bracha, there's no shemot of shefa. Okay? סדר המשכה בשני זוגי עתיק ונוג, לבי פרצופי עריך ונוג, מאל אליהו. That's what אליהו says. בנה שלום בהמשכת שמבי זיווגי עתיק ונוג לערך ונוג כתב, ולהמשיך מהם שפע, לפרצופי נעבד לחגת, לחיצון, וגם לפרצופי חב"ד לחגת, לעריך. וקרוב לזה איתה, בסדר הרשע שנתפס, חשוב ביותר ללמד במיל אליהו, שדן וביאר כיצד יהיה סדר המשכת, you go from down up or up down. מהיטות הלשון, from the way it flows is לשון, שבסמוך משמע שבזיווג העליון דעתיק, יש זיווג עליון דעריך. Meaning you go from, you start with the העליון, which is שפע פנימי, of עתיק, and then from there you go to שפע העליון דעריך. Meaning you do עתיק first, במיזוג התחתון דעתיק דנוק, זה משך לזווג התחתון דנוק, כמו שנראה בסוף הלשון. לפי כל זה דעת ישראל חיון, שלכל הסדר המשכה של המוחין הוא צריך להיות אחר, והוא שמזוג עליון דעתיק, עם מה שלזוג תחתון דעתיק, משם לזוג עליון דעריך. Okay, maybe it's too detailed. It's just saying that really you'd think that you'd go from Atik to Atik and then start with Arich. But it seems to be saying that you go from the Elyon to the Elyon, the Pnimi to the Pnimi. You understand? And not Derech Tachton. You go from your head to your body, and then from your body go to the lower, the next parts of. Why are you going from the head to the head and from the body to the body? You understand? But so the Me'eliyahu goes into this. Okay, let's see what we want next. Let's look at the actual Siddur now and look at Abba Ve'ima. So when you're looking at this, the picture Begadol, there's a right side and there's a left side. Yeah? And there's the top half and the bottom half. If you're looking at the right side, you've got Asmab, Absagma Ben. Yeah? And look at the left side, you've got two names of Milui Ekiyes, and one is missing. And then you got Havaya, and then you got Ekiyeh, and then you got a Zivug, and then underneath the Zivug, you've got again Asmab. And in the word Baruch, after Zivug, the two Zivugim, יכוון להמשיך שפע מזיווגי הפנימי דחב"ד דחגת הנזכר דמה ובין דעריך. So now what we're doing is we went from Atik to Arich. Now we have to go from Arich to Abba Ve'ima and Yasut, right? We have to go to there, to the next stage. But now we don't just go directly and make Havaya Kia Havaya, the other Kia Havaya Kia. It would have been easy if you could just then do the same thing for Abba Ve'ima, like you did for Atik and for Arich. We don't do that. We have to break it down that there's a Ma and there's a Ben. The Ma is the right side, with the male side, and the Ben is the female side. So you have to go to the Ma. You have to go through, look, it's like this. You've got Atik, and then you've got Arich, and then you'd think you go to Abba and Ima, and then to Yasut. But you don't. Over here, Abba and Yashas have to become one Partzuf, and Ima and Tvuna have to become another Partzuf in order to make a Zivug Tigvit Tuzun. Okay? This is all, everything we're doing now, it says the Chagat. The Chabad, the Chagat. What does that mean? That means we're now going to do Abba Ve'ima, the Pnimi of Abba Ve'ima, not the Chitzon. Right? It's the Chabad of the Chagat of Abba Ve'ima. And afterwards, we're going to go through a whole different story to do the Chitzon of Abba Ve'ima. Right? So first we have to do, if you look over here, you see there's a green and there's an orange, or the color that is peach, right? So the orange box is what, the green box is what we're doing now. Yeah? So we're doing the Pnimi of Abba Ve'ima, not the Chitzon. So in other words, we're taking the Shefa from the Eke Havaya of Arich, which was called Zivug Pnimi, and we're now going to the next stage of Abba Ve'ima. So you know what, let's read it in the Siddur, and then we can explain it. See what it says first. From the meaning just the top line, yeah, of the Chabad, which is Shefa Pnimi, the Chagat of the Shefa Chitzon, which is the whole first half of the bracha. Hanizkarim, Demau ben de Arich. Now you have to do it from the Ma side of Arich and the Ben side of Arich, because then we're going to split it up into two different kavim. Okay? And Huji, that's where it's coming from. So in other words, the top line of Arich, the Zivuk Pnimi of Arich, you have to split up into Ma and Ben, and send it le Zivuk Pnimi, the Chabad, the Chagak, the Ma Ben, the Abba V'ima V'Yasut. You didn't find it? You got it? Tell them what page. 172. Yeah. Believe me, it seems like really complicated. The first time I did it, I made lines and arrows, and then I made those charts and all of the, even over here, they've got all these complicated charts. It's not, it's just when you get the idea of what you're doing in your head. Look, I made a whole chart over here. You've got up and down and round and down. It's not, you don't have to make it complicated. You have to know there's Pnimi and there's Chitzon. Pnimi and Chitzon. The Pnimis go one after the other. It's like you got the M1 and you got the M6. You know, two different roads. Stick on the M1. They all go from north to south. They all go north south. They both go up. One's on this side, one's on this side. Okay? So one's Chitzon, one's Pnimi. Imagine like that. Okay? So now going to the right side. So you're going to a place, the location is called the Zivug Pnimi of Abba Ve'ima and Yasut. So specifically, you have to first go to Arich, from Arich to Abba, but it's not just Abba, it's Abba and Yashas. That's the Chidush. Then you have to go to the left side to Ima and Tfuna. So here it says Shefa Dema. So when you, from Arich, what did we bring down? Shefa. From where? From the Pnimi, Zivug Pnimi of the Shefa Chitzon. And there's two lots of Shefa. One is called Ma and one is called Ben. So the Shefa of Ma goes to the right side and the Shefa of Ben goes to the left side. And that says it. Shefa de Ma, right? Which, you understand what you understand what the translation? You don't know, write notes, put lines, whatever you need to do, but tomorrow you'll forget it unless you follow what was being copied over here, right? So it says he came from Arich and he went Zivug Pnimi, and then it said Chabak de Chag de Mauben Dabim v'Yasud. The Ma, that's a Shefa, the Ma carries the same Ma that you have on the second line. Now on the third line it says that one, that Shefa Ma. Yeah, the Zivug Pnimi and his Kadarich Mipani de Malchut de Chochmot. Okay, don't need to know right now what that means. It just means that that's called Shem Ab. The chub v'chug de ma uben de ma, the chabad de chagat de arich. All of that basically means that you've got ab sag ma ben on the right side. Right? That's what it means. It's called panim de malchut de chochmot. It doesn't matter that right now how to interpret all of that. But you're going to the panim, the malchiot, the chochmot, the chub, right? The zivug elyon de abu yashas, and it's a Havaya. That means you have to see the Shefa coming down as Asmab, and it's going to Havaya, which is Abban Yashas. When you come to do the Kavanot, if you learn what all this means, okay, you learn it and you know it, and then the mice, when you do it, in 1 second, you just look at Asmab, Absagma Ben, going into Abban Yashas. And that's going to be the Shefa that Abba will use when he does his Zivug with Abban Yashas with Iman Tfuna. You understand? So after this is going to be a shiluv of Havaya Ekiyah. But you have to know that Havaya is the Ab, Sag, Ma, Ben on the right. That's the Shefa Ma, right? On the left, you've got Shefa de Ben, and you've got Kasa, Kamag, and there's one missing. Normally you'd have Kanag, Kana. But we don't have it for, again, it's the da'at of Ima doesn't exist when it comes to this. Nashim datot kalot alehem, Gemara. So in Olamot, it means that the da'at kal, she doesn't have a da'at. Ima doesn't have a da'at. There's no shem, there's no kli, there's no shefa for that, right? You have to build it up every time, then it goes away. So that works. Okay, nashim datot kalot alehem. It doesn't mean they're stupid, they're very clever. It says it just means that there's a certain if a woman is more seductible, if you put pressure on her, the Gemara says 2 men and 1 woman is allowed, but not 2 men and 1 man. The Raisa. Because yichud. It means it's easier to get her to do something, even if she doesn't want to do an avera, to force her, to pressure or something. She wants to be nice, whatever the reason is, it's easier. Or if you want to understand in other ways, if there's another woman there, which is I think the basic pshat, and a man and woman will do an avera, she won't say anything. But if there's 2 men there and a woman, he won't keep quiet. It's different ways to understand why a woman is more susceptible. Even Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he ran away with his son and he went to the kever, right? To the Me'ara. He said, because they'll put pressure on her and she'll give in. They'll say, we're going to kill him, we're going to this, we're going to that, and she'll don't say where they are.
That's what the Gemara says, no bekas v'bayit.
Why?
Because then it could bring to 3 things that a woman may do. Break Shabbat.
That's Gemara and Gittin. That's something else. That's
Ketubot.
in Ketubot, in the beginning, I mean Ketubot. Yeah, it says לעולם אל יכניס אמה יתרה בתוך ביתה. כי אדם גדול יכניס, אמה יתרה. 3 דברים צריכים להגיד בשבת, בערב שבת, נגמר שבת as well. So that's the whole, that's Gemara במה יתרה. פלגש בגבעה. That's the sugya. Yeah, Gittin, it's in Gittin. Gittin Daf Vav, I think. Okay, have a look. Okay, in the beginning. Anyway, so Rabotai. So what we need to see is very simple now. We're spending a lot of time on it, but we're making it more complicated to be. You came from Atik, you went to Arich, all Shefa Pnimi. Now the Pnimi of Abba V'Ima. How do you do it? Right side, now you got Shemot of the Shefa. Ab Sag Ma Ben. Left side Kasa Kamag. And one goes to Avaya, one goes to Ekye, and then we're going to make the Zivug. Right?
Why didn't this happen before? Why didn't we do this from Asik to Arich? No.
Shefa Ne'alam. כך כזה מחשבה לפניי. כך עלה במחשבה לפניי. Don't know if that works. It's a very high shefa, so we can't represent it. We can't document it. We can't reference it. Yeah, in Queen's English, King's English. Okay, so where does it go? Lipanim de malchuyot de chokhmot, which means those shemot, a certain address. But this is important. The zivug ilayin ilyon de abba ve'yashas, and it's telling you the asma gematria baruch im daredotio. So there's a kavanah why that name also goes in this. Why we do this kavanah in the milat baruch is also hinted to in the word baruch, because there's a kavanah of gematria baruch. All of that, all the asag ma ben, it goes into havaya. Yeah, on the left side it goes to ekya. Now what you do is you make a zivug between Abba and Yashas together with Iman Shvuna and the Yesodot, right? You have to remember that Abba is a partzuf. Abba's partzuf is not until the Chazeh of Arich. And under Abba, you've got Yashas, the lower half. So now, if you take Abba as its own partzuf, his Yesod is somewhere up here. If you take Yashas, his Yesod will be somewhere over here. If you put them two together as one partzuf, then the Yesod will be somewhere in the middle, somewhere around the Chazeh of Arich. And then that's why when there's some times where they have to become one partzuf and then have a combined Yisod, and that's the Zivug that we're doing now. Right? So the Zivug of the yesod of Abba and Yashas together means there's three different yesods there's three different types of zivugim. There's Abba and Ima, there's Yashas and Tfuna, and there's Abba and Yashas with Ima and Tfuna. So why it's like that? Again, it's not for now. Because when you have to pass on Shefa, that's what you have to do. They need to pass on a Tselem, and it has to go to Azun, and this is the way that has to go. Okay? So what's important is that now we're doing a Zivug. Right? And it's called the Neshikin. Why is it called Neshikin? Because the Ima's before, you see again, Ima's before Abba. Tipat Asmab. This is called the Tipat Asmab. That's what we had above, right? The Shefa was a Tipat Asmab. Right? It's called Minei Ubei. That means between Abba and Yashas, you have to send it down. L'yisod de Chabad de Chagat de Abba veYashas, v'tipat Kasa de Kana tzibod de Ima de Chagat de Ima ve'Dvuna. That means that Shefa that we had before, that was the Ma side and the Ben side. Yeah, the Ma side was Absag Ma Ben, and the Ben side, so the Ma side and the Ben side was a care of Kasa and Kamag. That Shefa has to go down to the Yisod. In order to make, before you do the Zivug, you have to have the Shefa and the Yisod. Right? So that then they can make a Zivug Yisod be Yisod, and they'll pass on the Shefa, and Ima will get everything. Yeah, from Abba and Yashas to Ima and Tfuna. So you see, that's what it's saying over here. Then you do the Zivug. After you pass, so in other words, you go down to the Yisod. That's what it means. Yes, you go down to the Yisod. That's what that line's telling you. And then you do the Zivug Pnimi de Chaba de Chaga de Abba Vim Yasud, the Neshikin, and then you got Ekiyeh Havaya. And then you see the Tipa, which is in the Yisod. It's the same thing that you had above there, right? The only difference is in the good Sidurim, you have Yud Vav Hey Vav 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 Hey Vav, which is Shuruk, Yud Ke Vav Kev Shuruk, to show you that it's in the Yisod. I don't know if I put it in because it's not in the Sudan. It's fast. Let's see. You don't have it. This just means it goes to Yisod. So in some Sidurim, I'll show you over here. You see, they've got this in brackets. The Shuruk. They put it in. Some did, some didn't. Because it really isn't there in the Siddur, but they want to show you that it's going to Yisod of Abba V'Ima and Yashas. And now, you've got a special name over here, which has to be Gematria Baruch. Okay, so these two Ekiyas, huh?
Voilà.
Yeah, Ralab, exactly. Right? These two Ekiyas that we had before, right? When they go to the Yisod of Ima, you get this special name, which is only in the Yisod of Ima, which is Ralav without the Lamed Pei. It's all the Otiot there. If you count all the letters over there, which you have in the Siddur, right? You'll come to Ralav. So it says Leisod on the right side, the Gufa the Zivug Elyon the Abba B'Yashas, and then Leisod on the left side, the Gufa the Zivug Elyon the Ima V'Tvuna. Shebo Kana Betzirotiotam. So the Kana, which is the third name that wasn't there before, suddenly comes into play because there's three names of Ekiyah. There's Kasa, Kana, and the Kana. Kasa, Kamag, and Kana. So I'm not explaining reasons and all. I'm not going into it now, but just that's basically what you do in the Kavanot. That's what this show is for, just to learn what to do. Okay, it's not complicated really when you think about it now. To understand what was going on over there, it's complicated, but when you know now what it is, Atik, Pnimi, and then Atik Chitzon, Arich Pnimi, Arich Chitzon, Zivug, goes down to Abba. Now we're only doing the Pnimi, Abba and Yashas, all the way down to the Yisod, Ima all the way down to the Yisod, and there is a Zivug. That's it. There's a Zivug, but we didn't really, you see, the Zivug that we did before, so far Abba and Ima haven't had the Zivug. What we had before, that Ekiyeh Havaya that you had in the middle of the page, yeah, you got it? Before. What is that? Can anyone tell me what that is? You know what that is? That's called a Zivug Minei Ubei. We call it Nishikin. It means that it went from Abba to Yashas. It's all on the male side. So Zivug between Abba and Yashas. And Ima and Tivuna. Why is this? Whenever there's it orurut for Zivug, How does it work? A person has a machshava, has to start in the machshava, in the chokhmah, in the more chokhmah of a person. And when that happens, then it pushes down the tipa, down the shchut hashidra, all the way down to the yisod. And the tipa wants to come out. Right? The person has the wrong machshavot, the tipa could be nimshach down to his yisod, and then it's stuck, can't go anywhere. That's the rabatala. Yeah. So when a person, this is called nishikin. The shikin means inside the person's own mouth there's a zivug, right? Of the abba and iba, which is not, it's not on the page, but within the male side, and there's another one in the female side which goes down, sends a tipa down to her yisod as well. This is called neshikin. Neshikin we think is a kiss, but the shikin never means usually doesn't mean between the male and the female. It means within each person, between the chech and the garon, there's a neshikin. It's called neshikin. In Kabbalah, that is, right? So there are the shikin between Zachar and Nekeva, which is between Zivugim. But here it doesn't mean that. Here Zivug, the shikin, Minyaubei. So that's what it was renting to over there. So you understand what happened on this page was when you did the Zivug of Eke Havaya, so far all we've done is use that Zivug, which is a neshikin in the back of the throat, to bring from the moach to bring down the tipa all the way down to the yisod of the male, and also on the left side all the way down to the yisod of the nuk. But they didn't yet join together. So when you finish the milat baruch, you're still only in arich. You sent it to Abba Vima and Yasud, and you went down to the yisod, and you stop up with it. That's for shechva pnimi. When you say milat ata, straight away zivug Abba Vima. Right. So until you get to ata, there's no zivug. That is what we call shefa pnimi. Now we do this shefa chitzon. So the key to understanding this, it's not a difficult kavanah, but the key to understanding this kavanah, right, is that nothing in action happens here. What we do is we're molid shefa. We have to give birth to the shefa. But the actual kavanah of bringing it to where it has to go will be in the milim Ata Hashem Elokeinu. So there's going to be 3 kavim here. There's ab, sag, and ma. Kav yamin, small, and emtza. And those are the kavanah of Ata Hashem Elokeinu. In terms of shefa chitzon, the chitzon. Okay? So what do you do? First of all, zivug. And then you molid the shefa. But the shefa stays where it is. It doesn't. You don't moshech it down yet. And if it says Shech from, but doesn't say where to send it. So you don't. Here you're just saying, preparing what you're going to send, and then you stop to Ata, then you carry on. Understand? So let's read it now inside. Top of that. Yechamel hamshich shefa mizivug chitzon shunai v'chagad, the chagad of all the shefa chitzon of the first part of the bracha. Ham niskarim de ma'uben de arich. So again, you got a ma'uben. Last time we had ma'uben, also right side, left side. Also here you got ma'uben. So how does it work? Where do you send it? The zivug chitzon shunai v'chagad de chagad. The ma'uben de abba v'ima v'yasutz. V'yizav gam. Now, I don't know if you got v'yizav gam in what you're reading. Sometimes that's it's okay. So, you might say that's what you're going to do the next line. Zivug chitzon, the chagad v'nai, the chagad the abba v'yasutz. So straight away go to zivug. So in milat baruch, in abba v'ima and yasut, in the shefa pnimi there was no zivug, only minei. Only went down to the yesodot. But in shefa chitzon you already have a zivug, and the zivug is molid shefa. Yeah. So it says on the next line, after the zivug, and notice the havayas before the eke because it's shefa chitzon. ולהמשיך, מזיווג זה מוכין דאותיות דשלושה mab. You got Shem Mab, it's 42 letters. How does it work? You've got Havaya, Milui de Milui. In 3 different forms. Right? It's called Mulaziyat, without the Milui in the middle. Right? Try to remember those names. Mulaziyat. Right? The Assam, Absagma. Assam, right? You don't have to do the ben, just Absagma. So you've got the 42 letter word using Ab, which means the Yudin. So you've got Yud Ke Vav Ke, and then Ab, and then the Milui of Ab. Right? And then same thing for Sag. Yud Ke Vav Ke, and then Sag, and the Milui of the Sag. You can see it, right? And the middle one, the last one, is the Ma. So if you look at it, you'll see, first of all, you see Ab, you see the Ekiyas, you see Nanachis now already. Yeah, there's already Shefa coming down. This is Shefa that's Nolad. So let's just read it. Im Nanachi de Nachi, what's Nachi? Right? Here we call it Ruach de Ruach, but Nachi means it means Neshama Haya Yechida, which is the highest part. Shebahem. Now, if you look to the right side, you see, because that's the Ab, that's like Chokhmah. So you've got Ekeh Havaya with Patach. Underneath it, you've got the 42 letter name. So the way it works is you've got Havaya and then Ab, which is the Milu of Havaya with Ab, and then of Yudin, and then the other name. Now there's a formula for these names, which we can't go into now. When you learn Rafach, you have to learn the formula. You say Pashut Beketer, Milui Bechokhmah, and Milui de Milui Bebina. And that's what these names represent. They're not there stum. There's a reason why we're using this formula. But normally you think Keter is the highest, so the more letters should be bigger. But no, it's the other way around. The more letters, the lower you go. So you start with Keter, and you do Shud Kebavke. I'll tell you, there was a guy who used to live in Edgeware, and he decided that the Kavanot for him means you have to take the names of Hashem, of all the tefillah, I don't know exactly, thousands of names, and you open them up. So you take the word Baruch, and then you do Bet Yud Taf. Resh Yud, and then you open it. I don't know how many levels he opened it, and he made a computer, 20,000 pounds. Somebody told me he spent. But he did it for him. Gabriel told me, and he used to blast it through a screen all day long. Right? This was his avodah. Decided that if you open up all the letters, then it means something very big. You know, got Rashas, it's hard enough. but there is such a system. When they will learn Rafach, we'll talk about it, right? But the chiddush is that the more basic name is bigger. Keter is bigger. But anyway, if you take the Pashut, which is the Yud Kevavke, and the Milui, you'll get 42 letters. The only difference will be in Ben, because Ben has got one letter missing. You know, Shem Ben has only got 9 letters. All these got 10 letters in the Milui. So it works out to the same. Okay? And underneath that, there's another name of the Shefa, which is the Milui of Ab. And that's called Mu. Now, if you go to the left column, where you got Sag, so this time it's Ekie Havaya Teri, because it's Bina, Moch Bina. And you go all the way down to the Shemot, it's all of Sag. And then you got the Milui of Sag, which is Laz. And then the middle one is the same idea with Ma. And if you go down to the bottom, you've got the Ma and the Milui, and then you've got Yat. So you should know from here a name that you should get familiar with. Eventually, it will come up again in lots of different places. It's one S where you've got Mu, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yaakov, Mu, right? Elokei Gematria Mu, because there's all Ab. So Mu Laziat is the Shem of the Milui without the Shema Etzer. Meaning, if you take the Shem Ab and you take away the Yud Kevavke, you'll get Mu. If you take Sag, take away the Pashut, the Yud Kevavke, you'll get Laz. Yeah, so that's what these names, Mu Laziat. Right, so Mu Laziat together. If you look in if you, I don't know, you have it in your ones, but it's Gematria Baruch. Mu Laziat together is Gematria Baruch. Together with the Membet as well. 3 times Membet letters, 42 times 3 is 126. Plus Mu Laziat, you get to Baruch. So if you don't include the Shefa, which is coming to the Nanachi, which is that's how you get to Baruch. And that's basically that. This is the hardest part. You've done the hardest part of the Matbeah Bracha. After this, it's a doddle. It's easier, right? Okay. Now this Shefa that was Nolad, which is born over here, you'd be moshek in the words Ata Hashem Elokeinu. So it's very easy because you're just doing what's ready. There's no new complicated Kavanot after that. So let's just go a little bit quicker. We won't do Aravatia now. We'll just finish up. You look at Milah Ata. So first of all, in Ata, it looks so complicated. Actually, it's all the Kavanot of before. After the Zivug and the Tipah goes together, everything goes into one place, and you add in Hasadim and Geburot. So the first thing in Ata, on the top of the Shefa Chitzon, is a Zivug. That means Abba and Ima. Now, share everything, and it goes to Ima. So you have to know how to pass it on from Abba to Ima, and then in Ima you have everything. I'm not going to explain it now because you explain. But then if you carry on after that, you see the right side of the Abim, the Mulaziyat, the Mu, right? From Milat Baruch, at the end of Baruch, the Shefa Chitzon of Abba Ve'ima, there was a right side of the Abim, right? In the Milat Hata, that's all you have to do. Now you moshak that Shefa down. You see it? Everyone can see it? Yeah? So in other words, you've got 3 columns, and the right column is been Mshach. The other 2 still above. The Shefa Norad, he's not moshach yet. You see? Everyone sees it? Didn't see it. Milat Hata. Yeah? Milat Hata. After that, this is your still Shefa Pnimi. Keep on going, Adam. There. That what's coming down is the right side. The other 2 are still above. Only the right side came down. Yeah? Now we look at Milat Hashem. And now Milat Hashem, the Shefa Chitzon is first, interestingly. And what do you do? The middle side. Now this is a big, normally you go right, left, middle.
Yeah.
Right? So when you, right? And the question then arises, since Milat Hashem, because it's Hashem is Zas, and Hashem is Tiferet, so that's why it's Ma, Hashem Ma. Right? And when you get to Elohim, you'll see it's the left one. So it's a little bit not in the way that we normally expect it, right? So now if when you do Ata Hashem Elokeinu, you do right, middle, left. So when you did the Kavanah in Ata, in a Baruch, in the end of Baruch, when you brought down all the 3, how do they come down? Do you bring down the right, middle, left, or do you do the normal right, left, middle? You understand? Let's go back to Baruch.
You said
Shefa Chitzon. Huh?
you do as right, left, middle.
But
For
well,
the
the way I did it, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, it says I'm right. Yeah. Well, I put numbers there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember asking Ramati about it, and he said it's like it's everyone's confused about it. And then once I was standing next to him during the Megillah, because there's all Shemot in the Megillah, so I hold his book and point to the Shemot. He knows what part anyway. He reads the Megillah, right? So before when you did the bracha, I'll Mikra Megillah. I said Baruch Atah, and he's going with his finger next to me, standing. He's going with his finger like to himself, right? And they got to Baruch, and he came to that. He went, I got to England. It's not like you can have conversations in the middle of Kriyat Megillah. There's so much going on. Right? I said to him, I noticed. Yeah, he said, I do it like that. he said, because the real order should be right. You mean small emsa. Always whenever you do the male side, you mean small emsa. When you do the female side, look, it's the other way. You start with the middle, dabach, dat, and then bina, and then like in the Na'anuim, if you look at it's dabach. It's the other way around, not Chabad. Okay, so he said, yeah, he says in Achanami, but there's the Ramazim in the bracha, it worked out that way because it had to fit Hashem with Ma, so it did it that way. But when you actually do it before that, he did it that way. Okay, so I got, the big cloud in this thing is have a Mesorah. That's the Mesorah, right? That's what I follow. If you do the other way, I'm sure that others will come up with other ideas. Because in the beginning, I didn't do it that way, because you can see from the bracha, and this particular system of the bracha, it follows Ata Hashem Elokeinu is Yemin Emtza small. So why when you Shefa is Nolad, you don't do that, right? So it's not logical, right? But that's how I do it. Okay. So Rabotai, so let's just look at this before we end it. We end the shiur. Let's go back to Ata now Hashem. Ata Baruch Ata. Before we conclude, so the kavanah is Ata. Zivug Elyon Plimi de Chabad de Chagad Abovim V'Yashot. So you do the zivug, and then it says like this: Yeah, Chaven Lamshich Mi Yisod, from the Yisod that we were in before. The zivug Plimi de Chabad de Chagad de Abba V'Yashas. So before we had the right side, which was Abba V'Yashas, and we took the shefa down to the Yisod. Yeah. Now we're sending it Tipat Asmab Im He Chasadim. So really, it's the same 4 names, Am Sagma Ben that was there before, but now you have to add in Chamisha Chasadim, which is called a Tipa, because this is what Abba's giving him as a Tipa. And you give it to Lisod, the Pnimi, Bekitsu de Ima V'Tfuna. And what's over there? You've got the female egg, right? what you want to call it, tipa, right, which is called a man. And that's the three names of Ekia. And this time you see all three names of Ekia, not the Sir Ralab. Three names of Ekia, and she's got it. And then there's another kavanah. You have to put like a line across the page over here. And imagine there's another line splitting up the page. And all you're doing now is taking it from the Yisod of Ima and giving it to the Malchut of Ima. That's the whole kavanah. All the same kavanah, just a little bit different order. For whatever reason, it moves around inside the Rechem. And then it goes down to the Malchut of Ima, whatever that is. And that's it. That's the end of the kavanah. So everything ended up. It started from Atik to Arich to Abba Yashas to Ima, and the way down you saw it all the way up to the Malchut of Ima. So everything now is in the Malchut of Ima, that she can give birth and give it to Zun. That's Shefa Chitzon, Plimi, Shefa Plimi. And then Shefa Chitzon, you just take the right side and you bring it down, right? So it says Yechavel Amshich Mab de Ab, the 42 letters of Ab, which was born in the word at the end of Baruch. Im Nachi de Chaya, it's the same exact kavanah, which is you got the Ab, you've got the Aminanachi of Chochmah, and then you got the 42 letter name together with Mu. And where'd you send it? Lepanim de Tas Elionot, the Kachab, the Chachan, the Chagat, Benai, the Chabat, the Ma'al Ben, the Ben. All you need to say there, Dezun. Forget everything else for now. Okay? It's just an address. Everything else is an address. It means the right side. I think I should have drawn some charts of what it means, right? If you want to got time to go into it, it's good to know. But right now, we don't want to complicate things. It just means it goes to Zun. The Chidush is in the Milat Ata, already Zun has all the Shefa of the Chitzon. Right? Lepanim, the Tas, the Zun. It's in Zun. It's what it switched over to Zun. But the Shefa Pnimi, it didn't get to Zun yet. Right? Well, at least only one cover went to Zun. No, it didn't. It's all in Malchut of Ima. We didn't do it yet. The next word in Atar, then Hashem, it will go to Zun. Yeah? So I'm going to summarize everything we said today now. Bezat Hashem. Start with Iglat Baruch, Ketzer Elyon, Malkut Akudim. Comes down, Shefa comes down, where? Straight to Atik. Atik's got two different, first you go to Atik. You got Pnimi and Chitzon. Pnimi, Zivug Pnimi, Zivug Chitzon. Then it goes to Arich, Zivug Pnimi, Zivug Chitzon. And then from now we go to split out into two maslulim. So we carry on with the masul of the Pnimi. So in Milat Baruch, you have to go to Abba and Yashas. So you have to bring them Ab, Sag, Ma, Ben to Havaya. And on the other side, you got Kasa, Kana, Kamag. It goes to Ima and Funa. Zivug, Mineu Bey, that means it's Nishikin. It means inside there's a Zivug to send it back all the way down to the Yesod. So then the Ab, Sag, Ma, Ben goes to the Yesod of Abba and Yashas. And the Kasa, Kamag in the Sir Ralab, right, goes to the sort of Iman Tfuna. Right? That's the end of Baruch. And then we got the Shefa Chitzon. Right? Shefa Chitzon, which came from Arich Venuk, it goes to Abba and Ima, right? And over there's already a Zivug. And Shefa's Nolad. What's Nolad? Nanachis of Patach, Tzeri, and the ones of Da'at. Yeah, whatever it is. And then they also have 42 letter names of Ab, Sag, and Ma in the middle, and underneath them Mu, Laz, Yat, right? And the Gematria Baruch comes from that as well. That's born in the word. All of that is in Baruch. He finished the Kavanot of Baruch. Ata Zivug Abba Ve'ima for Pnimi, right? And then from there it goes to all the Shefa with the Chamisha Chasadim goes from Yisod Abba to Yisod Ima, and then from Yisod Ima it goes to Malchut Deima. Everything is Malchut Deima, and it remains in Malchut Deima, in the word Ata, right? And then in the Shefa Chitzon, you moshech the right side, which is the Abim, right? It goes down the Ma and the Mu, right? The Mab and the Mamu goes the Ab goes down to Zun, the right side of Zun. And that's it. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen v'Amen. Done 3 words. Hashem. Thank you.
זה לא? זה לא.